Last night,
Hey guys, Chris here.
a Jedi was murdered.
So, just watched the first episode of The Acolyte, and
Jedi?
I really have come to realize the biggest problem with the Star Wars universe that is owned by Disney
But that piece
is the fan base is
is
too
a lie.
stupid to understand how movies are supposed to work. A really good, well-written movie should show and not tell. This is very, very clearly a case of they believe the fans are too dumb to understand what's going on the screen, so they have to tell you everything. And unfortunately, I was kind of excited about the High Republic era of Star Wars, and
some sort of shift.
so far off of this one, I'm kind of just feeling like Disney and Lucasfilms
Face the past.
just they don't quite believe the audience is smart enough to understand fantasy anymore.
Destiny is not decided for
and it's
you
not
by an anonymous
just
force.
an issue with Disney and
want to pull the
Lucasfilms
thread,
and Star Wars in general.
They'll change everything.
This seems to be an ongoing case within
And pull it.
the film and TV universe that we have. You know, people can call it woke if you want, but it's poor writing. It's poor writing across the board. It doesn't matter how you look at it. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in anything they put out anymore at this point, because they don't trust their fan base to be smart enough to understand what's going on without having to tell them every second. I mean, the writing is so atrocious in most of these nowadays that it's, you know, I'm grabbing a cup. I'm going to take a drink. I'm going to be eating some chips now. Instead of showing that, they're telling you what they're doing. I'm taking a walk. I'm off to the races. Let's go run a lap or two. You know, it's just sad at this point. And I don't think the criticism of saying the writing is poor is attacking anyone for the roles they're playing. Because you could have Carrie-Anne Moss, who is a great actress. You can bring on Helen Mirren. You can have Daniel Day-Lewis. You could bring on any amazing actor, Denzel Washington. You could have them in these roles, and the writing is so poor that there's no way to elevate shit beyond shit. So it's not as fans, don't attack the people, but we should be holding these studios and these writers and these artists to a higher level. If you're going to take something that we love and you're going to shit on it because you don't want to take the chance and believe that your fan base is smarter than they are, and instead you want to treat us like we're just big Neanderthal morons, of course there's going to be backlash. There's going to be outrage. There's going to be stupid things that are said. And I don't think any of these actors in this show are terrible, but the writing is so bad that it really is like any goodwill you might have towards those actors brings them down to that same shit level of the writing. And so I honestly, I'll try and watch some more of this TV series. Normally I don't like to do TV series on my channel, but this was one of those that I was kind of, there was a sense of, I want to check it out. It looks like it could be interesting. It's a good idea that is just poorly handled across the board by the writer and the producer, the directors, and everyone, instead of them coming together and going, hey, you know, maybe we should treat our audience like they're smarter than we think they are. You know, we're going to treat everyone like they're dum-dums. And it doesn't make for entertaining watch. It isn't something that drives most people to do it. And I think Disney has overall, instead of taking a step back and said, hey, the first season of The Mandalorian was taking an idea, we got rid of Jedis, we actually expanded the universe, we're doing something new, something different, and then they just, instead of continuing the writing that they had in the first season, they were just like, oh, people love Grogu, let's go ahead and sell Grogu, so we're going to write him in when, you know, it was better off with them not having him and focusing more on the Mandalorian as a character, just this bounty hunter out there, experiencing the universe, giving us a glimpse of what else is out there besides Jedi and Sith. It was a great idea that just over time they did what Disney has started to do, which is we don't trust our fan base to be smart enough to know what's going on. So instead, we're going to show you some of the absolute worst we have to offer. And, you know, this is kind of the unnecessariness of what Disney has done with Lucasfilms. I mean, here's a clip from the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, so I mean, it's funny to watch, but at the same time, it is just so, it's so stupid. I mean, why would you twirl to fire off a laser gun in the middle of a battle? It's kind of a dumb thing. And you know, I love the original Star Wars movies, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, or Return of the Jedi. The prequels that George Lucas made, while they aren't something I loved when they came out, I've come to appreciate them, and I think that is, it's a sad thing when a Phantom Menace, the Clone Wars, the Revenge of the Sith are so much more informed and well written, and you can see all of the flaws you could see in the movies when they first came out are kind of not flaws anymore when you compare them to A Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Last Skywalker, or Rise of the Skywalker, or whatever the hell that last one was. There's no direction going on. This is a complete lack of any cohesion, any kind of connectivity. You have a universe, and it is so disjointed and so just shit on that they don't know what they're doing with it. Kathleen Kennedy, as the head of Lucasfilms, she needs to pull her head out of her ass and realize that there needs to be some semblance of a cohesion in this universe. You can't change the rules with every single movie, every single TV show you put out, and expect people not to get upset because they've suddenly decided, oh, hey, you know, this is no longer a rule we had set in this last series. It has nothing to do with that. One of the reasons why some of the best fantasy books work is because the author has created a living, breathing universe that is connected and feels real. And that's just not the case with anything Disney does anymore. So those are just kind of my 2 cents on that first episode of The Acolyte. And, you know, it might be the same thing going forward. I've heard the third episode, for anyone who was a Star Wars fan, it will kill any of your fandom, which is unfortunate for the new stuff, but I still believe it doesn't affect anything of the old movies. I can still sit down, watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, Rise of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. I can watch those movies and still enjoy them for what they are. None of this affects my enjoyment of those movies because they are completely separate and they are cohesive movies. They're connected. The tissue's all there. The rules are all set. Everything makes sense. Even the midichlorians make sense within George Lucas's universe because he knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted to do. And unfortunately, Disney just doesn't know what they want to do anymore. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, subscribe, let me know what else you want to see. If there's any movies out there older that you kind of haven't seen me give a recommendation on, or it may sound like you've never seen or heard of, drop a comment and I'll take a look at them. I'm always up for a bad movie. All right, bye-bye.